Hi guys, we're here to look at beehives today. I've got Charlotte. Say hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
We're gonna look at our beehives and get ready to process this year's honey. So we're opening up the hive right now. And this part is where we feed them. We will feed them during the winter and sometimes in the summer when there's not a lot of pollen. Hear that crack? That's where they have a glue that bees make, and they glue the stuff down. So here's what the beehives look at. This is a honey super that's on top. Back up a little bit. You can come back in a second. Just back up. So this one, smaller one, is a honey super. And these two are the brood chamber, where the brood live. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put a little smoke, and bees think when they smell smoke, they get scared and they run down in the hive and they start drinking honey because they think that there's a wildfire and they're gonna have to fly away and find a new home. So watch when I smoke. See, just a little smoke and they wanna go down and start drinking honey. So right now, we're gonna see what honey looks like in a beehive. Hear that crack again? Listen one more time. They glue the frames together to seal up their home. So we're gonna take this empty frame out and we'll set this. There's a few bees on there. Everybody sees bees and they get scared and they think, oh, bees are gonna sting me. Look at them. They don't want to sting you. They're friendly. See them walking on my hand? They really don't want to hurt you. Just set that one aside. Let's come over and look at what a nice comb of honey looks like. One more, because I know this comb is really nice. And in a minute, we'll look at a comb of honey. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to set this down real carefully. Try not to squish any bees. Let's look at what that looks like. So when the cells are open, that's when they're still placing the nectar in the cells. And when they get enough nectar and they dry it out enough, they cap off the honey with a wax that they make. And I'll show you the difference. Don't squish the bees. Sometimes you squish a bee. So that's a full frame of honey. So let's look what a partial frame of honey looks like. So this next frame, the bees smelled that smoke, and I can see they're in the cells drinking up the honey because they think that they're going to have to leave the hive. So let's look at what that looks like. See them in the cells? They're drinking. Their heinies are up in the air because they're drinking that honey real fast. See them all down here? And this is what an empty frame looks like when you start. And they build all this wax comb up along here, and then they start placing honey. See, this side's empty. And they build that comb, and then they make honey with it. There's that beautiful honey that we're going to taste here in a little minute. Let's see here. What do we have here? Another honey frame. Well, they're going to have plenty of honey for the winter. That's what they use to eat all winter long. The only reason I'm doing this right now is to just try to get them down on the frame so I don't squish any when I break them apart. They're super gentle bees. That's one thing to remember, is bees really are super gentle. Look at, I can touch them, they don't attack me. Charlotte's gonna touch them. See these bees, look at them. Can you get close here? Don't touch them. See if you can get them licking it. They're just licking up that spilled honey. Okay. Okay guys, so we're in our next hive, and this brood frame does have brood. It's got honey on the outside. There's some of the beautiful honey. Look at that big, huge frame of honey we took out. So now let's look at what some of the brood look like. The brood is the baby bees, are the baby bees. So these are, let's see, I don't see any drones on here, but if you look, this is all honey to feed the baby bees as they're growing. But see these, the wax cap looks different than the brood caps right here. That's wax cap. Now over to brood cap. See the difference? There's baby bees under there. So let's look on this other side. I saw one baby bee trying to hatch. Let's look and see if we can see her again. Okay, stop. Yeah, that's a bee trying to hatch. See, it's just barely, they're just chewing the wax off of that cap, and she'll be born. Now let's see, hold on a second, Charlotte. Saw some larvae. Okay. If you look very closely in these, if you can get in there, Charlotte, can you see?
Oh, yeah.
You see the larvae in there? Once they get big enough, then they'll put these caps on, and the bee will transform just kind of like a butterfly does, and then they'll chew those caps off, like over here, and that's when the bee will hatch. I'll pull off one more frame and we'll see if we can find a drone. Probably not going to find the queen today. The queen's kind of like to hide. And you'll see why it's so hard to find the queen, because it's just one bee. Look at how many bees are on a frame. So let's back up. Let's look from, so right here, hold on a second, Charlotte. So this is honey that's being filled into, see how it looks wet in there? That's honey being filled as the brood, these are getting ready for winter too. So as these broods, see how they're chewing the tops off, getting ready for the brood to hatch, they'll start putting honey in for winter. So I'm gonna look and see if I can find a drone real quick. This is why it's so hard to find bees. Look at how many there are. So looking for one specific bee is pretty darn tricky. The drones, what they do, she's okay. The drones, what they do is they help make baby bees, but that's all they do. And in the winter, there's not enough honey for them. So their sisters kick them out of the hive and they die over winter. And they only make new drones in the spring. No, I'm not seeing any drones. Let's see if I can see any larvae on this one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw some by the...
Here, I'm gonna bring it over in the light. Now you can see really good. Here, let me get a better grab on it, Charlotte.
Now you can see the white.
See all the white? Those are all gonna be capped off. See up in here?
Why are some of the larvae brown and some of them white?
That's just the darkness of the cell that they're in.
Oh.
Okay, let's put them away for winter. So we're gonna close this back up. So here we have our full frames of honey. And now we have to get the honey out of the comb. So we have a decapping tool. This takes that wax cap and takes it off of the cell. Okay? So here we go, watch. See how it opens up those cells so that we can get the honey out. We don't want to completely destroy the cells. The bees can reuse them next year. Okay. And we set that in our spinner. Do you want to come over here and show them the spinner? See, it spins the honey and it flings it out. Let me get these others in. So now we're going to spin the honey. And what happens is this spins around in here super fast, and using a force called centrifugal force. Some people call it centrifugal force. It's actually centrifugal force. When that spins, it causes the honey to fly out of the comb, the cells in each of the combs, and it will fly out and hit the side of this, and then it all drains down to the bottom. All right, so let's get ready and let's get started spinning. Close the safety covers, turn the power on, and we're going to slowly start them spinning. Now it tends to wobble back and forth a little bit when it's full of honey. So we got to go slow to start with. I can hear the honey flinging out and hitting the side. So we're going to start slowly. All right, so we're about done. It's about stopped. We want to keep the safety covers down for safety till it stops spinning. And I'll show you what the empty frames look like. So that's what an empty frame of honey looks like. And we will give that back to the bees. We'll set this right back in the beehive and they'll go clean up and eat all the extra honey out of that. So the next thing we have to do is filter the honey. So we open it up. And away she goes. And this is taking out all this is the wax caps and stuff that broke off when we were opening the cells. Look at that beautiful honey flowing. And the last part of getting honey is putting it in the jars. So we open it up, look at that beautiful honey flowing. We'll close it off. And look at that. Look how pretty that is. We'll hand it to Sophia, and we'll do one more. There you have it, from the hive to the honey jar.